Hello and greetings. Welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So Tuesday night we're doing an episode of Not What I Hoped For. So this is a bi-weekly show that comes out every second week, alternating currently with a mini series called Decades. So Decades went last week, so this show will go this week. So Not What I Hoped For is basically talking about an album that I had fairly high expectations for, and it just never quite made it to those expectations. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad album. In fact, most of the ones I've done up till now I think are good albums. I always had anticipated it being absolutely a killer, and that's no exception with this album. Machine Head from Deep Purple. So as I was starting out my series of shows, or my channel, sorry, as I started out my channel, Deep Purple was a band that I knew I had to listen to more stuff from, because I had an album called Perfect Strangers and maybe a live album as well that kind of listened to their stuff, and gradually as I listened to that stuff it started to grow on me. So I knew they were a band that I had to get more into. I did like them. They were one among my top 40 bands at the time. Since gone up a little bit. Still in that 30 to 40 range for bands. I listened to Deep Purple's In Rock, an absolutely killer album that I loved. And this one was the next one, so it seemed like it was just going to continue. I was going to absolutely love this. And then it didn't, and then I didn't love it. And I don't know why, because, Highway Star is a song I've always liked. Of course, everybody likes Smoke on the Water. Maybe it's overplayed a bit, but it's still a great tune. And then Space Truckin', which is probably one of their best songs of all time. Yet I just don't find this album nearly as gravitating for me as In Rock. Yet they're pretty much close to the same time period. This one actually, I think, sold more too. Might have sold more. Is it a better album than In Rock? I don't think so, not even close. But it should be better than it is. It should be right up there amongst their top albums. Yet for me, it really isn't. And I really don't know 100% why that is. It seems to have all the elements that you want in a great rock album. It's not totally different from In Rock. It's got some catchy riffs, some great vocal performances, some legendary songs on here, stuff that they play regularly on their live albums and in concert. But I just don't feel it, and I don't know. Maybe it's the lesser known tracks like Lazy, Never Before, Pictures of Home, and maybe I'm a Leo. Not that any of those tracks are necessarily bad. I don't dislike any of them. I just find that maybe the overall expectation of the album wasn't met by the deeper cuts. The big cuts were fine. Maybe Smoke on the Water's played too much, and that might have had a detrimental effect on the album. But it's a strong album. Most people like it. Most people rank it in their top 5 Deep Purple albums. And I can understand why. But for some reason, for me, it just never got to the level I wanted. So in some ways, it was a bit of a disappointment, which is, I guess, saying a lot about the album. But at the same time, I do like it. It's an album I will put it on occasion to see if I can recapture it. And that's part of the reason why we're doing this particular episodes for this episodes. I wanted to try and visit some albums and try to understand why they didn't make it, and maybe give them another chance to prove me wrong. And this album definitely could do that. All 3 of the albums I've done up to this point could do that for me. However, at this point in time, they're just a little on the disappointing side, and not really what I thought they would be, and not really what I hoped for. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Not What I Hoped For. Do you concur with anything I've said, or do you think I'm completely off the mark here? Do you feel the same way, or maybe you can completely feel like I've missed something here and I need to give it another try. So just put those comments, whatever you have to say, in the comment section below. Please hit the like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And we'll be back next Tuesday when we'll be doing another episode of Decades, which will be in its third episode. So we'll be doing the 1980s this time. So this should be a little more challenging. 1970s, I've long listened to that. A lot of tons and tons of albums, but mostly the same ones get to the top by the end of it. But this time, I'm not quite sure how that's going to go. So I hope to see you then. Have a good day. Take care and goodbye.